Hello. Well, it's been a few weeks now since lockdown has eased. Most of the shops have reopened, the cinemas are open, the sports centres are opening. You can go and have your hair done. You can even go back to church. So everything's back to normal. Only it isn't, is it? It's so far from normal. We've emerged from lockdown, but we've emerged in a strange world with all of the components of what we used to call normal life, and yet somehow not normal, unfamiliar, different, changed. And some of these changes are very hard to live with. So church, for example, we can now go back into the church buildings to worship, which is wonderful. Of course, church was never just about church buildings, and we still continue with online services, services by post. Some people don't feel ready or able to come back into the church building, and some haven't been able to anyway for a long, long time due to various things, access issues or disability. And the world seems strange. Church seems strange. I took a communion service this morning and wonderful, an adult baptism as well. Yet it was strange. I was wearing a mask to do the communion service. The congregation was seated 2 meters apart each way from each other. We just had the bread for communion. We couldn't share a common cup, and we had a one-way system. And everything seems so strange. And you know, it makes me think of some of the changes and adaptations that we've seen. And I think about Winchester Cathedral, amongst many cathedrals, one where their beautiful medieval stained glass windows were smashed to smithereens. In their case, I think it was the Civil War and the parliamentarians. So what did the congregation do? Well, they sat among the ruins of the stained glass, of their beautiful window that had depicted fantastic stories that had been used for generations to teach people of the Christian faith. And they sat among the pieces, still beautiful, yet completely fragmented, with a meaning that just wasn't the same. And you know what? They took these pieces, they saved and treasured them, and they made something new. The Victorians would later call the new windows jumble windows, because actually what happened was the workmen took the pieces that were available, no matter what shape and size they were, and somehow they placed them together and they made new, beautiful patterns, different to what they'd been used to before, but beautiful. And the sun shone and still shines through them, and they are beautiful, and they take our imagination and our meaning. And that's hope, that's vision, that's looking to the future. I don't know about you, but for me at the moment, I feel as though I'm still sat among all those stained glass windows, those pieces, those fragments of what was normality, of what I recognised, what was familiar. And I'm sat among those pieces. And if truth be told, I'm mourning some of those pieces that have been smashed, some of the normal, as it were, parts of life that has been smashed. And I'm not sure how we remake this window. And yet I know that we do. And I know it won't look the same. But I know that the sun will still shine through it, and it will be a blessing.